Hey, Coach Reeves here again. Today we're going to find the remaining factors. So if we're going to find the remaining factors, that means they've already given us one factor. They have given us one factor, and this one is x plus 2. Now, if you look at the leading term, that highest exponent will always tell you how many total factors there are. In this case, there are 3 factors. They have given us one, so we need to find two more factors. How do we do this? The first step is we need to do synthetic division. Now, we've already learned synthetic division, so let's get into this. To do synthetic division, we're going to list the coefficients. We have a 1, a 9, a 26, and then we're going to write the constant of 24. We're going to draw a line, give yourself some space to work, set up your remainder column. This is your remainder. Now here's a tip. Your remainder will always be 0. If this doesn't come up to be a 0, then we have done something wrong. We will not be able to find the remaining factors. Okay? So what are we going to put in this little bracket to work with? Remember, we take a factor and we put it equal to 0. We're going to say x plus 2 equals 0. We're going to go minus 2 minus 2. We're going to get x equals a negative 2. That's the number we're going to work with. Just like in synthetic division. The next step, we're going to ask you to bring down the first number, and then we're going to get started. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. You combine this and you get a positive 7. Negative 2 times 7 is a negative 14. 26 minus 14 is 12. You multiply. Negative 2 times 12 is a negative 24. That's a good thing. 24 minus 24 is a 0. My remainder is 0. That's a good sign. That means I'm doing something right. Okay? Now, here's what we're going to do. Remember the first problem, or the first term? It started with x to the third. We divided by x to the first. That means my first number down here should be x squared plus 7x. That is a positive 12. I need to factor that right there. I need to factor that expression. So we're going to go x squared plus 7x plus 12. We know how to factor that. We've been doing that for a long time. We're going to set up our parentheses. We're going to look at the back sign that says the signs are going to be the same. They're both going to be pluses. So you put your pluses. We break down x squared as x times x. And we need to break down this positive 12. Since it's positive, we will add to find our combination. And we're looking at 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Which combination added together will add up to 7? And yeah, we're going to pick 3 and 4. There are our last 2 factors that we were looking for. They gave us one at x plus 2, and there are the other 2, x plus 3, x plus 4. Let's try another one. Okay, so we're looking for 3. That tells us we're going to have 3 factors. They gave us one of them. We need to find the other 2. We're going to do synthetic division. 3, 2, 1, that's good. We don't have any gaps, so we're okay. So we're going to go with the coefficients. We're going to say 2, 5, negative 50, negative 125. Give us a line. Here's our remainder column. What do are we going to work with? Take your first factor, x plus 5 equals 0, minus 5 minus 5, x equals a negative 5. So we're going to work with the negative 5. Next step, we're going to bring down the 2. Negative 5 times 2 is a negative 10. When you combine these, you get a negative 5. Negative 5 times negative 5, that's going to give me a positive 25. When you subtract, you're going to end up with a negative 25. Multiply. Negative 5 times negative 25 is a positive 125. This gives us a 0 as a remainder. Yay, that's a good sign. Now, what are we going to do? We started with what? We started with x to the third. We divided with x to the first. That means we're going to start with x squared minus 5x minus 5. We need to factor this. But notice it has a coefficient in front. When we have a coefficient in front, that means that we're going to use the box method. So we're going to draw our box. We're going to put the 2x squared in this corner. We're going to put the negative 25 in this corner. We're going to multiply 2 times negative 25. Multiply these two numbers and you get negative 50. Because it's negative, we are going to subtract to find our combination. My choices: 1 times 50, 2 times 25, 5 times 10. Which combination subtracted will give us this middle term? The 5 and the 10. But we want it to be a negative 5. So the negative goes with the 10. So we're going to put negative 10x. We're going to put positive 5x. We're going to look for common factors. What do they have in common? My greatest common factor would be a 2 and an x. My greatest common factor across the bottom will be a 5. What do we have in common going up and down? We have an x in common. When we go up in this last column, we have a negative sign in common, and the number 5 goes into both of those. So now I have finished factoring. My answers, my two factors are 2x plus 5, x minus 5. These are our two remaining factors. Let's try one more, just for practice. Uh-oh. There's a coefficient in front. This is not going to let us do synthetic division. We're going to have to do long division and then factor. When there's a coefficient in front, it is best that we do long division. So we're going to do long division. We're going to say 2x plus 1 divided into 4x to the third minus 4x squared minus x plus 1. Now remember, quick review, I'll help you out with long division, but your first step is you're going to try to make this match this first term. I want to try to make the 2x match that. What should I multiply times? Well, I need to multiply 2 times 2. That will get me to a 4. X times x squared. That's the number I want to use. That's the term I want to use to get it to match. So if you remember also that we're going to distribute backwards, we're going to multiply here, we're going to multiply here. So then we go and we say 2x squared times 2x is going to give me 4x to the third. 2x squared times 1 is going to give me a positive 2x squared. When we're through multiplying, we're going to draw a line, change both signs. Change them. The first column cancels. Negative 4, negative 2 is a negative 6x squared. Bring down your negative x. We're still trying to match now. We're trying to match this. We're trying to get that 2x to match that. So what do we multiply times? Well, we want to go 2 times negative 3. That'll get us to a negative 6. And we need to multiply the x times x, and that'll get us to an x squared. So we multiply backwards, and we get negative 6x squared. Negative 3 times 1, negative 3x times 1 is a negative 3x. We draw a line, we change both signs. This is going to cancel. I have a negative 1 and a positive 3, which is a positive 2x plus 1. That's 2x plus 1. I want this 2x, I want this to match. Remember, we're trying to get it to match. So all we're going to do is multiply times a positive 1. 1 times 2x is 2x. 1 times 1 is 1. We are done. Draw a line, change both signs. Cancels, cancels, remainder is 0. That's what we were trying to do. Remember on the other two when we got to do synthetic division, we wanted our remainder to be 0. We still need our remainder to be 0. Now we need to factor this. I have a coefficient in front, so we're going to go to the box method again. Two x squared plus 1. Multiplying. This is going to be an easy problem. 2 times 1 is 2. It's a positive 2. So I only have one way to get to 2. That's it. So we're going to have 1x and we're going to have 2x. What do we have in common? I have an x in common. I don't have anything in common, so I use the number 1. I have a 2 and an x in common. I have the number 1 in common. Final answer, my last two factors, x plus 1, 2x plus 1. Those are my remaining factors. Okay? So quick review. To find your remaining factors, you're going to have to divide first. Hopefully you can use synthetic division. If you have a coefficient in front, you're going to have to use long division. And then what do? After you get finished? You factor. Sometimes you may have to use the box method, or it could be easier to do. All right, try these. If you get stuck, let us know. We can help you. Hey, good luck.